Hey guys, it's your best fight friends. I'm Kelsey, that's Rachel.
I wanted to talk to you about betting and how it works with Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier, because you said something. Here's a funny thing about me. I don't really understand odds or betting. I wouldn't be really great at it. I'm not good with numbers. I have no history of betting or gambling. Yet I'm always really interested in it. And so you said something yesterday to me, and you were telling me that the odds for Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier right now, you think they are skewed, like the what is that called? The line is too wide?
The line, yeah. So for Conor, and that happens a lot, especially with really, really super popular fighters like Conor McGregor. A lot of people will bet on them that don't really watch the sport, or they'll look at a limited data set. They'll look at, oh, well, Conor knocked this guy out in 2 minutes 6 years ago. He'll do the same thing in this fight. Well, Dustin Poirier has won a lot of fights.
Yeah, and so that's what I wanted,
because you had
really great reasons for why, why he shouldn't be maybe such a huge favorite on the odds market as he is.
Well, the point is that if you are interested in betting, one of the things you look for is if there's something askew with the line. You look at and see, basically, if the line is too great in one direction, even if you expect Conor McGregor to win the fight, what you do in your head is you come up with, well, I think Conor will win. Let's say you think Conor will win 6 out of 10 times, but the line suggests that he would actually win 8 out of 10 times. Then you can confidently bet against who you think is actually going to win the fight because of the probability, right? You're looking for the value of return based on mathematical probabilities. So in this case, I do think that in a UFC fight, if you look at Dustin Poirier's last 3 years and the wins he has, the excellent fighter he's been, and then you look at the same data set from Conor McGregor, you would be crazy to if it wasn't Conor McGregor, you would probably be like, oh, you should back Dustin Poirier in this fight easy.
Right, because Dustin has a lot more data to support him coming in this fight and him being successful. Conor hasn't even been competing.
He's been beating the former UFC champs at the elite level. He's been fighting at the most elite level in the UFC in the division, winning fights, right?
Tell me Conor's last 2 fights.
Well, in the last 3 years, his last fight was against Donald Cerrone. That was in January. And before that, he fought Khabib, but that was, 2000 and...
Yeah, I'm just
a long time ago.
Pointing out that there's a big lapse of time for Conor being inside the octagon, and so that is something to take into consideration when you're looking at the odds there.
You have to at least consider it. Like, are you thinking about Conor? You don't have data on Conor McGregor. You have data on Conor McGregor being great in 2015, right? Mm-hmm. 2016. But what do you have data on Conor McGregor for the last 3 years? Him getting choked out by Nurmagomedov, getting knocked out by Floyd Mayweather, and yeah, he beat up Donald Cerrone, an older fighter at the end of... And Donald Cerrone's a good fighter, but I'm saying that everybody knew Conor was going to win that fight.
Yeah.
Maybe Conor goes in there and steamrolls Dustin Poirier again. But I highly doubt it. Who has steamrolled Dustin Poirier in the last half decade, right? It hasn't happened. So I think that it's just at least worth some thought. Whenever, if you choose to bet, or even if you think about it for entertainment purposes, whatever, what you have to really think about whenever, or you want to feel confident in is you want to look if there is some data that exists. What are you going to bet and why? Do you have data to support that? If you do, you can have fun making good bets and you can win as well. But if you're just betting on your heart, if you're just betting on who the more popular fighter is, or you just betting on what he did 5 years ago, that's not a winning betting strategy. That's a dumb betting strategy.
Okay.
It just is. I'm being serious. I'm not saying Conor won't win the fight, what I am saying is that there's a lot of data out there which suggests that minimally you shouldn't go, bet your house on a first round knockout. It's not the same fight it was back then.
Yeah, and perhaps in this case, just to play devil's advocate, that there is a lack of data on the Conor McGregor side for him losing. And just because there's a lack of data doesn't mean that you can just run with, oh, Dustin Poirier is going to win this because look at all the data I have for Dustin over 2020. And I got almost 0 data for Conor over 2020. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And data not existing is kind of a wild card.
It is. And he looked really, for the minute we saw him against Cerrone
Right.
a year ago, he looked really, really great, but
Yeah.
that's a very, very limited set of data. You also have to factor in how he retired and
Yeah.
all the other stuff that goes on in his life, where it seems like maybe I know that Dustin Poirier all this year has been training. He fought in June. He was living the life of an elite contender in the UFC. And Conor McGregor was not doing that. He was going to do that boat race with Princess what's her face and Prince whoever. Do you see what I'm saying? And he legitimately thought he was never going to fight again. Like that's data. That's sincere and real legit data that people should think about.
Do we have any sincere and legit data for our subscribers?
You know, we just topped 6 million subscribers.
Okay. So we have false data
in our minds.
For you. Don't bet on this data. But hey, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.
You can take that to the bank.
All right.
The blood bank.